The boy tossed his only SIM card into the trash. After finalizing his plans to study abroad, he walked away from home without looking back, a home that had only ever given him disappointment. But his parents thought he was just throwing a tantrum. When they showed up at his place intending to scold him, they were stunned to find him living in a tiny, bare apartment. In the dead of winter, his only source of warmth was a single thin blanket. It was only then that they realized how tough his life had been. But by then, it was far too late. Years ago, when the boy was still small, his parents left for the big city in pursuit of money, leaving him behind in the countryside with his aging grandmother. Hoping they'd come back sooner, he studied hard and always ranked first in class. But every time he shared his good grades, they responded with broken promises, always saying they were too busy with work or needed to take care of his younger siblings. They had forgotten he was their child too. When the boy turned 19, his long-absent parents finally came back. He was so excited that he went to wait for them at the village entrance hours in advance. But the reunion he had dreamed of turned out to be nothing like reality. His parents' attention was solely on his younger siblings. They barely even acknowledged his presence. They brushed him off with a casual go home first and then took his siblings out for a big meal. Despite the cold treatment, he still clung to hope. That evening, he brought out his acceptance letter to a top university, ready to share the news. But their response shattered him. His mother dismissed him as a fool who only knows how to study, while announcing they'd be sending his less accomplished younger brother abroad for a better future. His brother even accused him of wanting to compete for the family inheritance. His father's response? "If that's how you feel, we'll just cut ties with you." And that's when it hit him. His dream of family unity was nothing but a fantasy. His parents didn't come home for him. Just then, an explosion rocked the hotel they were in. The boy was trapped under debris, unable to move. But his parents didn't even look back. They grabbed the younger kids and ran. Luckily, a kind stranger rushed him to the hospital, saving his life. But when he woke up from his coma days later, there was no one by his side except the doctor. His heart broke all over again. When he finally got a call from his mom, it wasn't to check on his injuries, it was to ask him to go comfort his frightened brother. He was speechless. Even now, with his body broken and in pain, his mom still only cared about the other child. Tears fell from his eyes, along with every last ounce of hope. That same day, he called a foreign university professor and accepted their invitation. He promised to be there in 2 days to complete enrollment. Meanwhile, his parents, perhaps feeling a twinge of guilt, tried to transfer his household registration back to theirs. Years ago, in order to have more children, they had cruelly moved his registration to his grandmother's name. He had grown up with her surname ever since. Now, they wanted to make it right and change it back. But the boy didn't care anymore. Without hesitation, he threw the new household paperwork in the trash and went straight to the office to finalize his plans to leave the country. Back home, he tore down all the awards he had ever earned. Then he tossed an old family portrait, one he had drawn as a child, into the fire and watched it burn. His grandmother's passing and his parents' indifference had destroyed every last emotional tie he had. After saying one final goodbye to his grandmother, he boarded the bus and left. The day of his official family naming ceremony finally arrived. The village elder recited the traditional words, but the boy never showed. Just then, his younger sister ran in, panicked. She had seen him leave with her own eyes. His mother called frantically, but no one answered. Still, they refused to believe he would skip the most important moment of his life. They told themselves he was just being dramatic. The elder had no choice but to postpone the ceremony. When they returned home and opened the door to his room, they were completely stunned by what they saw inside.